written by Stajich. The first show you'll see today is called The Ointment, which was directed by Jayne. And the second show today is Analog, directed by Jayne. Please turn off all your cell phones. And just in case of an emergency, the exits are to the back of the theater there and where you came. Thanks for coming and enjoy the show.
Salves, bombs, ointments all have the resonance of a time gone by. Of medicines being peddled off the back end of brightly painted wagons as a player piano pounds out pockets. Yet what we are finding today is that some of those basic root elements, the herbal elements, the fatty creams, the alkaloids, after all our years of ultraviolet lighting and lasers, are often still the best we have to offer. They are in many cases all we offer. In every branch of science, there is a holy grail, a beautiful, potentially sacred thing that once found will change the very nature of that discipline. In oncology, it's quite simply cure cancer. In cardiology, for manageable and accurate missile for removing clots, some type of plaque attacking ICBM. As dermatologists, we would love to forever banish acne and the heartbreak and scarring it causes. In the 1600s, witches, you remember them, spoke of an ointment that once applied gave the user the ability to fly. Flying ointment. We've yet to stumble upon a tube of this stuff, but what if we could somehow merge the natural, healing, soothing, debridement, moisturizing with the supernatural? What if along with new tissue we could also imbue the sufferer with actual powers of transformation, of real and true change, lifting the sufferer to some new plateau, returning to them that which the disease had stolen, handing them a set of wings and saying, fly! Lift up your new pink flesh and take to the skies, fly! Fly to the sun! Touch the clouds and know heaven while in this life! Fly, you poor dumb son of a bitch! At this time, I'd be happy to take questions. Mrs. Whitman, if the cause of your rash is in fact tension and stress, I doubt this phone call's offered you even one moment of relief. Skin disorders are sometimes more of an eruption, not just some garbage on my inner thighs, as you put it so succinctly. Often their true centers are internal. Well, if we could somehow modify the disturbing elements of your life, shrink. I would never use glib shorthand for what might be a very serious problem. I understand. Is your husband seeing you shrink? Fine. Mrs. Whitman, stay on the line. Sharon will come on and schedule an appointment. Try not to scratch it and continue using the cream, okay? Okay. All right, here she comes. Okay, here comes Sharon. Here, she's coming right now. Here she comes right now. Sharon. No, of course it hasn't cleared up. Get her in here this week. I'm expecting the rep from Omar Rubicon. Oh, yes? Fine, maybe he'll bring me some relief. You crazy nutbag! You nutty roll of peanuts! You cuckoo nut tree! You work for the largest pharmaceutical company on earth. Why must you talk like Sammy Davis Jr.? My consulting fee and tightly wrapped bundles?
Hey, we never give out cash. Well, almost never. the end that coda about flying?
I guess I drifted it. I lost a burn patient that week. I'm a dermatologist. I'm not someone that's used to losing patients.
You should spend some more time with surgeons, my friend. I can get you into a golf tournament.
I've got a 47-year-old female with a stress-related eczema, and let's just say that stress isn't going anywhere soon.
You will placebo.
I was thinking, if it had a horrible smell.
Right. Many of our former placebos are now highly successful products. You remember the stuff, though?
The stuff that made purple lather.
Right, that stuff was huge. The Fed's got this kick about active ingredients. What does that mean to you?
Active. Should probably contribute to healing in some way.
Right, like a delightful shade of purple food coloring. Here we go.
This is just an emollient.
Damn good one, though. Smell it.
Ooh. Is that organic?
Completely synthesized. Get this. If the user makes some kind of connection to something organic, our numbers show they prefer that to a chemical cover smell. They think it relates to efficacy.
So you're saying
It's good shit if it smells like shit. And not lab shit or science shit, but
So this whole septic tank aroma is nothing more
the
than
whole grass circle down to roofs. The boys in Odionics, the smell guys, they went out to shopping malls. And time after time, the perception was that if it had stank, yes.
fine. Mrs. Whitman will get some stank.
What? Zendaline? Christ, not you too.
The front page. Those are some big numbers.
For the record, I told them I wouldn't sell it. I wouldn't do something that new kids. Not when the most outstanding set of results came from rhesus monkeys.
You're a saint.
I wouldn't do that to children. I didn't. I refused to handle that product. Look, every weekend, the cops drive up to some car wreck full of teenagers. What falls out of the back seat? Zendaline? No. Empty beer cans. Is Anheuser-Busch getting their ass kicked in the New York Times? What?
I would say
You were just shopping time. Great. Forget it, okay? Let's leave behind the gaseous, bubbling swamp of things gone wrong and turn our gaze to the gleaming...
something completely idiotic and unnecessary, like, I don't know, Viagra for women. Jesus, that's it.
Valence. All the psych guys said it should have a V, but anything with sex, you gotta have a V. So, valence. See, in chemistry...
Yes, I attended college.
No, it has another meaning, though. The degree of attractiveness in an individual or object.
That's beautiful. Pink bottle. Mitch, I'm practicing medicine here.
With a patient load that's 70% female.
What are you suggesting? They come in with a rash, I tell them they need vag-tastic vulva vector?
Valence. Right? Sure, okay, you can't prescribe it, but in confidence, gal start blubbering to you about the depression, the loss of self-esteem that the rashes, blisters, and corns have brought on. And they painfully confide to you that they've lost interest in that most beautiful and life-affirming of acts. And to trust a doctor, they turn to you.
I don't work on corns.
You mentioned that one of your patients has been singing the praises of valence. No, just chat, conversation, shooting the breeze.
Is there a t-shirt I could wear? Maybe a baseball cap.